The crypto market is deep in the red right now. Bitcoin corrected over 2-digit percentage and the altcoins are wrecked even harder. So there's a lot of blood in the streets. The portfolios are not looking great. People are fearful that the market could already be over, that Bitcoin has already topped out, that the bull run is not as exciting as it used to be. And I want to talk about what we can see right now in the news, in the charts, and what I believe is going to happen in the next couple of months to come. Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another video here from Brazil. I have found a very nice and relaxing spot just here under the trees where the birds are having a good time, and we're also having a good time even though there's a little bit of red in the market. So if you enjoy this type of very quick crypto updates, then let me know in the comments below and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. That's a way to support this channel. So what we see right now in the market is a wipe out of billions of US dollars in only 24 hours. So the market is resetting hard, is flushing out leverage, is resetting funding fees, is preparing, in my opinion, for the next leg up. But the correction is deeper than some of us wanted to, and that some new investors can stomach. So the flush out is already happening for some new hands, already weak hands. So what we saw yesterday in the video, I said if we lose this trend line of this upward sloping channel, then very likely we are going to have a harder correction. I also said on Twitter we're losing the level right now and brace for a harder correction. So if you want to have these updates a little bit quicker, then also follow me on Twitter, or you can become a rare hodler by becoming a subscribed channel member, and then also you can get updates quicker in the Telegram group. Now we see it in the altcoins, a sea of red. For example, altcoins, especially altcoins like Ecomi, they are losing all their levels, but also altcoins that have been pumping quite a bit, they are now losing a lot of the profits that were already made. And I can already tell you right now that these corrections are part of a bull run. Look at this trajectory here of Bitcoin in 2017. There were 6 or 7 30% corrections on the way up, right? So even Bitcoin had 30% corrections. If Bitcoin corrects 5%, usually altcoins correct 10 or 15%. If Bitcoin itself corrects 10, 15% like it does right now, altcoins tend to correct like 20, 30, 40%, really wiping out a lot of the profits. And obviously in a very altcoin heavy portfolio, that doesn't feel really well. But I can tell you, if you want to have this massive asymmetrical upside, you have to be able to stomach the massive downside as well. The best recipe is just to not look at the portfolio a lot in these phases and just see, look back at it when the storm is already calming down, it's already over, the next movers are coming into the market and dips are being bought up. So that is, in my opinion, what is happening right now. So could we go lower? Yes, of course. The levels that I'm looking at, one level has already been reached. There are 2 lines here in the chart. One is 91,000. We have reached that level. The other one is 87,000 that I would be looking at as support for the market here for Bitcoin. So if we would go down to 87,000, that would also mean that the altcoins would bleed even more. It doesn't have to happen, so be very careful. I think it's a great buying opportunity for everyone who is not in the market, but the outlook needs to be shorter term. And also this correction, as mentioned 2 videos ago, is something that could prolong the indicators to having our cycle top or our all-time high later than expected with a very steep incline, right? So this correction and a monthly close at lower levels would also lead to the TSI, for example, closing a little bit more flat, would give us a new prediction for when the market tops, right? But these corrections are necessary, as mentioned before. Now let's talk about the bullish developments in the market that cannot be ignored. The reasons for the dip and for the crash we have already talked about in yesterday's video. So the Fed, what Jerome Powell said, and also that the market in general, also the stock market, doesn't really like things like a prediction of less rate cuts in the coming year, right? Jerome Powell said that there will be maybe less cuts, that they would move a little bit more careful than before, right? So that is something to consider here, but that can shift if inflation comes in different. The politics can shift, and it can go back to the more bullish outlook of faster rate cuts. But the market doesn't like this back and forth and bearish statements from FOMC meetings. So I think that's what's happening right now. The stock market has gone to already to extreme fear, and that's also reflecting in the more riskier assets like Bitcoin, and then plus that what I have shown in the last video, that Jerome Powell basically said that they are not going to adopt any Bitcoin in the Federal Reserve. Now, what's bullish in the market? El Salvador, as a first news, has taken a loan from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and used it to buy 11 Bitcoin instead of only one daily. They just bought 11 Bitcoin, marking once again as a statement that they are still driving this Michael Saylor MicroStrategy strategy for El Salvador as a nation state, right? And that's really something where I think still this could drive game theory if this plays out over the next couple of years and other nations see that. Instigate FOMO, or even just makes other countries, smaller countries, shift strategy to pile on Bitcoin. We're already seeing it, that they are mining. But even the mining companies we see right now, mining companies, MicroStrategy and other institutions are buying Bitcoin also in this dip. Marathon has bought more than $1 billion of Bitcoin, even though that they are usually using energy to mine Bitcoin, but there's just not enough Bitcoin to come out. So as a strategy, they're buying Bitcoin at these levels, right? So we need to consider this, and they are not unexperienced in this market, right? So what we have to consider is that these institutions, they are all moving into this market and buying the dip where others are fearful, where the weekends are losing their Bitcoin already, where people get fearful and sell it off, right? The other thing is that the SEC has just approved a combined asset ETF for Bitcoin and Ethereum for hashtags. And this is one of the first ETFs that is going to be very bullish for the altcoin market, because now you can buy Bitcoin combined with Ethereum, so basically buying the top two with one ETF. But consider this is not going to be the end. There will be a top 5, there will be a top 10, maybe a top 50 and a top 100 ETF at some point, especially with the more crypto-friendly regulation. So then it will be only like for large investors, it will be, I want to take part in the returns of the entire crypto market. For example, I want to be part of the top 10 returns, right? So they will be just buying an ETF, and that in turn buys what's in the top 10. So if your altcoin that you're bullish on is in the top 10, it will be bought, no questions asked, right? And that could be also a very, very interesting in the future, and maybe could be something to spark the altcoin season, because this one now is exactly at the right timing where Ethereum is just under this breakout level. Now this hashtags ETF is coming out, so it's playing all beautifully together. This correction might take until the end of the year. Maybe there's some recovery before the end of the year, but I think really in Q1 we're going to head higher. I think there will be new all-time highs out of Bitcoin, and then there will be an altcoin season. So we will reassess at some point, once I am back at a computer, how the indicators are looking right now. I think there is no pressure, as we're seeing that the main indicators are not at the end. Pi cycle indicator doesn't show top signs. MVRVZ score doesn't show overexcitement. The TSI is not at the downward sloping line yet, so I think we're not at the top yet. But as I said 2 videos ago, we need to be careful. We need to be reassessing all the time, and then we can make an educated guess about when it's really good to take profit. Right now, it's only about surviving the dip, and I think then we will have a very great time in front of us. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this market development. Don't forget to smash up the like button to support this channel, subscribe if you like the videos, notifications on if you do not want to miss out on the live streams and so on as well. And wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night or afternoon. Go out into nature if you can, and I see you in the next video.